How in the hell has the Syberia franchise lasted as long as it has? The original Syberia came out in 2002, late to the party of the adventure gaming boom. By then, Monkey Island and Broken Sword were already household names, but Syberia never achieved such a feat. It did develop a small cult following, but that certainly wasn't because of its protagonist, the bland corporate attorney named Kate Walker, who abandons New York for the wider pastures of a penal colony in Syberia. She's a bit on the dry side.
And you, Kate Walker, how are your functions?
Nothing too complicated, Oscar. I'll manage.
The original game did offer gorgeous visuals of a frozen steampunk Europe, with clockwork automatons and pre-rendered visuals. The charm of the game was in its coziness and surrealism. Then came Syberia II in 2004, and things got really weird. Kate Walker was now consulting shamans, and even orchestrating a penguin-led murder. Damn, girl. Syberia III was even worse. Fortunately, crowdfunding can compensate for the financial disaster. Enter The World Before, the fourth installment, an attempt to revive this Drek. A renewed vision, where Kate Walker is no longer the dry, buttoned-up corporate stooge, nor a dim-witted nutjob undergoing electroshock therapy like she is in Syberia III. Instead, she wakes up in a Siberian prison as a queer Jewish woman. The plot for The World Before hinges on Kate's new queer bunkmate casually asking her on her frickin' deathbed to track down a mysterious girl from an old painting. Why? Because apparently it looks just like Kate Walker. This ridiculous story is not unlike the setup for a 90s teen drama, like Felicity. Uproot your life, chase a vague obsession, hope it makes sense. It never really does, and the queer romance is quickly nipped in the bud anyway, when lesbian bunkmate snuffs at early days thanks to Blondie here. It's all for naught, like a dog that's been put down and quickly forgotten.
No!
Kate Walker is careful to use the moment as an opportunity to up her kill count and gain those well-needed gangster points. Damn, girl. Is the newly embraced gay Jew identity a little jarring? Well, a little. I mean, it could be cool if it actually changed Kate in some meaningful way, but instead we only really get minor stirrings in her personality. And besides, the J word is verboten in-game. Jews are instead referred to as vagrants, not to be confused with vegetarians. And Nazis are called the Brown Party on the count of their ideals being poo-poo, which is bizarre to say the least. The entire narrative centers on Jewish identity, supposedly Kate Walker's heritage, but by never naming what a Jew or Nazi is, the Holocaust ends up feeling a bit hollow. I can't really blame them because this could be due to censorship and market restrictions. Some countries heavily regulate Holocaust references in the media, but I still think it's a big misstep. Still, you can tell characterization and plot are taken far more seriously this time around. For emotional support, Oscar is back, that wretched automaton that somehow managed to wrangle its way into each installment. By the look of things, Kate loves this useless hunk of junk more than she did her dead lover.
Oscar! Oscar, don't! Oscar! Oscar, please! Come back! I need you!
Damn, girl, that's just sad. I do like this angle of at least trying to give her depth. She's losing her marbles a little bit, and that's nice to see.
No, not again. Not Oscar. Oh, darn it, why do I have to lose everyone I love?
I mean, she did just get back from the penal colony Dostoevsky nearly met his end in. There's even a phone call where Kate has it out with her longtime friend. A war of words in the telephone booth that strips away that annoyingly stoic facade, leaving Kate pacing the room like a lunatic.
And so when are you coming back to New York? To visit your mother's grave? And I should never have asked you to call me. Goodbye, Kate. I hope you find whatever it is you've been looking for these past 3 years. One thing's for sure, though. You wanted to be alone, and that's how you're gonna stay.
Oh, so you're Mrs. Wright, are you? Stop it! Grow up, madam! You've caused most of this trouble in here with your little gang. Don't start with me!
For once, we see a sliver of humanity. And I actually felt sorry for Kate having to deal with bitch friends like this. Small wonder she chose hard labor in Syberia over these creeps. Despite zero support, Kate spends the rest of the game mourning her mother in a quiet, bittersweet way, something the game actually manages to do quite well. But Dana Rose, the new playable character, is a bit less interesting to me. The problem with Dana is that she's one of those unassailable Mary Sues, a gifted Jew pianist in 1937 Europe. This is a potent setting, although the game never fully takes advantage of it. But Dana never felt more than a stereotype. Fortunately, her narrative is peppered with more interesting characters, like the disgruntled Lenny and a flamboyant photographer. But perhaps the most bizarre plot element in The World Before is the eugenics viewpoint. We see this when Dana's boyfriend Leon leads a Nazi-funded team of researchers into the Alps to find a Gorin. What the hell is a Gorin? Well, it's some kind of simian human creature fabled to be the missing link. Many historians do concede that Hitler was a social Darwinist, believing that both the Aryan and Nordic races had evolved from apes but to higher degrees than other races, including Jews. So narratively it makes sense, but it falls a bit flat. We do get to interact with some simple-minded simian-like Gorins, as they're called, but the whole thing ends in a plot twist that I will not reveal here. It's all a bit daft. I mean, you can see the ambition. SoCal definitely wanted to weave a story about identity and dehumanization here, but the writing doesn't quite land the punch.
If you let me see your wound, you can have another biscuit later, yes?
Kate's arc ties into Dana's in a way that feels sometimes earned, sometimes clunky melodrama. Things get heavy, but never too heavy. This is a slow-paced game to be played with a cup of tea handy, see? Can't overwhelm the target audience with the tedium of trauma or letting things get a bit too uncomfortable. Puzzles attempt to stimulate things, but are more generic often than not, having you working as a mechanic or a repairwoman. The time travel element is used here, much like it was in Day of the Tentacle way back in the day, although it's much less innovative. This is cleaner at least, but it's blander too. Art style at least is on point, the automatons of the fictional European setting doing justice to the original. Snowy mountains, sepia-toned cities, and Art Deco trains draw you in, and compensate a lot for the plotting narrative. Pair that with Inon Zur's soundtrack, the composer behind Dragon Age, and you've got a game that sounds as good as it looks. That does beg the question, are our legacy, music, visuals, and charm doing most of the heavy lifting? I would say yes, but that's not as big a negative as it might sound. Syberia, The World Before, knows what it is, plays up to what it is, and does so in a much finer way than the former sequels. Technically, it's not AAA polished, too stiff and awkward for that, but the heart and soul is here. A weird heart and soul, but certainly an acquired taste. But hey, what are crowdfunded point-and-click adventures for if not that?